Okay, what we have here is a 2008 Suzuki GSXR600 that was stolen and recovered, and obviously thieves did some damage, so we've replaced that. And I just want to tell you how we did that and make it smooth if you have the same type of operation to do. First of all, this was a pretty simple job. All you have to do is loosen that bolt and that bolt, and then I used a 36mm socket for this. Take that off and you just work that clamp off of the two forks. There's nothing around here that prevents it from coming off. It's just held on by those clamps, so you can work it off and work the new one back on. Of course, the ignition is connected under there by bolts. In this case, obviously we weren't keeping the ignition, so I didn't have to worry about taking those bolts off, but again, we replaced this because of the damage here. So these parts are pretty easily found. You know, we got the ignition along with the tank lock and the tail lock online pretty reasonably. If anybody wants to know, you know, where I can always give you links or whatever to those things. But I would not suggest cutting that like I did. But I just was trying to give myself a little bit extra room to pull it off before I got and dug down into here where the harness connects. So what I'll do is just now get you a better look there. When you get your replacement tank lock, it's just 1, 2, 3. Those bolts come out. Of course, this has to be unlocked in order to get it out, but those bolts take out the old one, and cinching those down puts in the new one, and that's as simple as that is. And that is what the original tank lock looked like after thieves got done with it. After removing the seat by taking out that bolt and the corresponding bolt on the other side, and then removing the bolt that goes here in the tank that connects right there, and you're able to lift the tank up. I just used a paper towel roll to hold the tank up because it's not very heavy. And then this piece, you got a bolt here, and you have to take off the, let's see, I'm going to take this off again to get a better look down here. You have to undo these. You just have to loosen these bolts right here. There's one on each of the 4 intakes, and it is a bit of a pain because you know how you have to get in there. I'm replacing mine with Allen head bolts, so the next time I can just reach in with an Allen head, a long Allen head that has the ball on the end, so I can get them from an angle and not have to mess with it like I did this time. But then once you get that up, that right there in the center is the connector, and so you just disconnect that, connect up the new one, and you know, you should be good to go on the new ignition. On the one we got, actually, it was a wrong connector, so I had to undo each of the wires and put them into the old connector in order to get it to connect properly, but it works fine. If you've never had your air box off before, this is the tool that I use to loosen the clamps. You can get it for $5 at Harbor Freight, and it's still a pain in the butt, but it can be done. So this might be helpful. This is what the bottom of the air box looks like, and these are the rubber pieces that I forget what are called that go onto each of the intakes. And to get the air box pulled up, it doesn't take that many turns. They're not cinched down that hard, so if you have a little teeny tiny ratchet, when it stops ratcheting because there isn't any more pressure on it, then that's enough. So probably maybe turn the bolts around twice and it should come up. Now I'm removing them so I can put on the Allen heads, which I picked up at Ace. This is one of the clamps that that holds the air box on to the intakes, and see, I've replaced the original Phillips with this Allen so that I can just simply at an angle get to it instead of having to fight in the tiny little space under the air box. There on the left is a brand new OEM air filter, which we're going to put back in, and I'm sure the motor's going to be very happy about that. Okay, if your tail glove compartment lock was torn up the way this one was, I'm just going to give you kind of a general idea about how to do this. I don't want to make it any easier on the thieves, but there's one of those little guys goes in there and one in there, and if you take those out, then you can pull this open and you can, well, that's not helping, but basically you can look up inside there to see the lock, and you'll find a way to get the to pull the cable from there. I mean, it's not easy, it's a pain. It can be done, and then you can fix that one too. Okay, so all my clamps are back in place. Now I'm going to turn this over, put it back in. So probably should do it the right direction. I'm going to have to move my PVC pipe to get this in. There is this hose on this side, and on the other side there's a electrical clip. Don't forget those. Don't get that hose caught underneath. There's that little clip that goes right under that piece. And then slide them down on here. drop anything down there. Now we have a nice new air filter. Now I'm going to tighten those clamps, put this bolt in, and then we'll come back for the top piece. I'm not sure if you can even see that, but down, that's in the air box, top of the air box, down in there is a Phillips head bolt. So it's down there about 4 inches, so you need kind of a long Phillips screwdriver to get in there, and then the other ones are Phillips as well. These back here you can actually drop down into the motor because they don't have those nice guards on them, but not a big deal, just be careful. And she's done.